I'm your intrepid host, L.A. Marzulli. Welcome to Questions with L.A. We'll get into your questions and so much more, but first, a word from our sponsor. 2022 has shown us what might be coming. So if you're fed up with everything being so expensive and the threat of recession hanging over us like the sword of Damocles, it might be time to take action. A precious metal IRA uses tax-advantaged gold and silver to keep inflation at bay and give you protection from financial nightmares. And you'll get a stunning free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin when you open a qualifying IRA account this month. Folks, you can't go wrong with Noble Gold, and this is something my wife and I invested in. Please check them out. Call 877-646-5347, that number again, 877-646-5347, or to find out more, please visit noblegoldinvestments.com. That's Noble Gold Investments, all one word, .com. Folks, remember, there's always a risk of loss, and past performance is not indicative of future results. Hello, Mr. Marzulli. I have a question about the giants in North America. Did they walk among us even as far back to Christopher Columbus? Thank you for reading my email. This is from Lita. Lita, absolutely they did. They were here. Our work on America's Stonehenge, number 4 and number 5 in the On the Trail of a Nephilim series, delves into that with great specificity and erudition, if I can use those two words. The bottom line is that site is 4,000 years old. It's in New Hampshire. It used to be called Mystery Hill. Now it's called America's Stonehenge. There's a stone there, and we delve into this in the film. It's the Bow Stone. It was discovered under about 2 feet of earth under a collapsed chamber at America's Stonehenge. And it lay in the museum, and no one knew what it meant. No one could read it or decipher it. Enter Dr. Professor Barry Feld, who said, that looks like Iberian Punic. I think I can translate it. And he did. And it said, to Baal of the Canaanites in dedication. What is a stone like that doing in New Hampshire, written in Iberian Punic, for crying out loud? That site, in my opinion, is a Nephilim site. It's also the Axis Mundi, the center of the world. But I won't go into that right now. You'll have to check out the films and see it for yourself. This is for Steve. Have you ever heard of the amateur biblical archaeologist from Tennessee that discovered the Ark of the Covenant, along with other temple items in Israel, supposedly was located underground where Christ crucified and apparently the blood found and tested and showing only 24 chromosomes? You're speaking of Ron Wyatt. He passed away several years ago. Ron is entitled to his opinion and his books. I've looked at the videos. I find some of the things incredibly curious. Whether or not he was crucified on Golgotha. We will also be going to that site that Ron Wyatt believed the crucifixion took place. Right next door is the Garden Tomb. The place of a skull where Goliath's skull was found. Did Ron find the Ark of the Covenant? Well, he believed he did and basically stated so on his deathbed. He never recanted that. So I don't know. I wasn't there with him. So for me to make a judgment on that, I've never seen evidence that would show me that he actually discovered the Ark of the Covenant. So the jury remains out on that. I hope that helps. This is from Leslie. Hey, LA, thanks for your work. My question regards post-rapture remaining Christians who would have undergone a big wake-up call. When they see the demonic signs and lying wonders in whatever form, will Jesus Christ answer when they call his mighty name to protect them, reveal the deception, prove the spirits, etc., or has that ship sailed? Well, it's a very complex question that you're asking here. Leslie, let's kind of walk through it. First of all, in my opinion, only those who are born again and spirit-filled are going to go up in the rapture, in my opinion. I am ardently pre-trib, so if you're mid or post, that's fine. Please don't shoot me a 5-page article telling me why I'm wrong. I get that. You can believe what you want to believe, but you're not going to ruin my day and my blessed hope, because before all these things happen, we're taken out. It's the judgment, the wrath of God. The bride is not appointed to wrath. The book of Revelation tells us specifically that, you're not appointed to this. You're not appointed to this. I mean, you read it yourself. It's just, and people want to believe in the post-trib and that we're going to hunker down for the tribulation. More power to you, but I'm not going to buy it for a second. My blessed hope is going up in the air and seeing the King. And I just believe that will happen. So the Lord himself will descend with a trumpet, with the voice of the archangel. With the voice of the archangel and the trump of God. Lord, let me start that over again. The Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel and the trump of God. And the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we, who are alive and remain, will be caught up. That's the word harpazo in the Greek. Caught up together with those in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And so shall we ever be more with the Lord. That's my blessed hope. I'm sticking to it. So, first of all, in order to be a Christian, you've got to be born again. You can go to a church, and unless you're born of the Spirit, you're not born again. So out of the 2 billion Christians that we have on this planet, how many are born again? And I get what you're saying. So-called Christians who are left behind will be freaked out, and wonder what the heck is going on. Can they be saved during the tribulation? Absolutely. Can they be born again and spirit-filled during the tribulation? Absolutely. But who wants to be in for that? I hope that answered your question. This is from Mary. I recently watched the Scott Carpenter's Sasquatch genome study collecting the samples. The Sasquatch DNA results sounds exactly like the results of your DNA study. Human mother, mitochondrial DNA, and unknown for the father, in the same Middle East location. Have you talked with Mr. Carpenter? He too is a believer. So it doesn't surprise me that God is revealing these things to believers. It's further confirmation of the Genesis 6 narrative. You may have already heard about this, about his study, but was curious. I've talked to Scott. He appeared on my show a couple of years back. I need to get a hold of him. Thanks for reminding me. I will try to reach out to him again. But yes, it's incredible, isn't it? It's all connected. It all goes back to the Genesis 6 narrative, in my opinion. Thank you so much for the email. Hello, Mr. Marzulli. I'm familiar with the idea of some nefarious operatives using bovine organs to cultivate other life. And to be clear, I fully believe something nefarious is going on with these mutilations. The thing that boggles my mind is with all the vast resources the government has at their disposal, or the advanced technology these off-world entities possess, why do they need to harvest these genetic materials from a civilian cattle supply? Couldn't the government just raise plenty of their own cows with the entities that do the same? I don't see why they go through the trouble of taking the material from ranchers and tipping the public off to the operation. Well, they move in fear. They move in fear. That's their currency. And this, thank my friend Gary Jeffers for teaching me this, but the currency of the kingdom of darkness is the currency of fear. The currency of the kingdom of heaven is the currency of faith. So faith and fear are mutually exclusive. You can't be fearful and have faith at the same time. It just doesn't work. So we know from studies that bovine blood, cattle blood, can be used in human transfusion. So I agree with you. There is something nefarious going on here. When they take the animal's organs and strip it of the blood, that is used for their breeding program. That's conjecture on my part. But after decades of research, that's what I think is going on. And I think other researchers have also come to that conclusion. Who or what do you think Bigfoot is? I wonder, because some would keep children safe and others are just plain mean. Thank you, LA. You are the best. This is from Claire. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Claire. I think Bigfoot is an interdimensional being. I'm still researching it more and more. I know Scott Carpenter, who we just addressed a couple of questions ago. I'm not sure what we're looking at there. It seems to be there's some friendly and some good, some evil. I don't know. But I talked at the Hocking Hills Bigfoot Conference, and it was really great to be there. And I showed a series. You can go back on our YouTube channel and see it. It was around August, I think, or September. We showed a 5-part series where I interviewed these two people who have had contact with these entities. Hope that helps. This is from Dwayne. Greetings, Mr. Marzulli. My question is about the giants. Do you believe that dinosaurs are the product of a Nephilim spreading their seed? Wow. I actually wrote about that, and my editor would not let me publish it because she said, you're going to cause a kerfuffle if you do that. And she was being nice when she said kerfuffle. I've always believed that the dinosaurs are the seed of the dragon. What he's trying to do is he's taking the DNA and he's manipulating things with the DNA and creating this thing, which is why they're all wiped out. Now, that's conjecture, but it makes sense when you look at the biblical narrative and how that works. Do you believe there are Nephilim leftovers? The one man who was on with his wife have interactions and they think they're good. What are your thoughts? Thank you for all you continue to do in enlightening us exponentially. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate the kind words. I think the Nephilim are dwelling amongst us now. Our work on the Kandahar giants specifically showed that these things are alive and running around in the wilds of Afghanistan, and the villagers all know about it. So what's happening now, and this is why number 4 in our UFO special, our UFO series, is so important. Hybrids are being created. It's no longer 12 or 14 footers like we see in the book of Genesis and the post-flood of Nephilim around the earth in those days and also afterwards. When we read about in our Bibles, the Nephilim were in Melanemy, were like grasshoppers in their sight, Numbers 13:33. So, yeah, they're here. Jesus said it'll be like the days of Noah. Number 4 in the series, which talks about abductions in our UFO film series, I get into all that. I talk about it at the end of the film. Hope that helps, Laura. Thank you so much. This is from John. Hi, John. Thanks for writing in. My question is, we hear about life on other planets and hear about military Space Force whistleblowers who work side by side with these individuals. These people look like us humans, and even human-like animals such as dogs, cats, even reptile hybrid humans. Do you think these other beings are part of the Great Deception? Absolutely. Are they Nephilim, disembodied spirits? I believe that Metascus monocyte, taught to me by Russ Desdar, these entities have the ability to shapeshift, to transmutate. They can appear as anything they want to, even an angel of light. That's why the scriptures tell us about that. So Metascus monocyte, this shape-shifting ability, are they all sourced from the same place? Yes, they are. The plurality of worlds, the idea that other life exists on other planets, could be, definitely could be, but I'm not buying it. He will roll the heavens up like a scroll and create a new heaven and a new earth. Is it a recreation? Well, if it's a recreation, okay, great, it's a recreation. What happens to all those so-called beings on other worlds? Then you've got Fermi's paradox, which said, if there's such abundant life in the universe, where the heck are they? They're not around, are they? I hope that helps, John. Appreciate it. This is from Bob. Curious if you read a book called The Antichrist and a Cup of Tea by Tim Cohen. I'm familiar with it. In a nutshell, it provides proof that the Antichrist is King Charles. His name adds up to 666. Might want to take a look. I have read that, looked at it. There's all sorts of stuff out there. I don't make claims one way or the other. I have no idea. Do I believe the Antichrist is alive and on the planet right now? Yes, I do. Do I believe it's King Charles? There's no way to know that. A lot of people all through the last 2 millennia have added up different people. So you just can't do that. It makes us look silly, in my opinion. We wait, we watch, we see what happens. Okay? If you had told me that in 2017 the UFO phenomenon would be released on Tucker Carlson, I wouldn't have believed it. We're here. So these things are beginning to unfold. What I do know is this: what was written will come to pass. What was foretold is unfolding. What was written will come to pass. What was foretold is unfolding. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. We'll see you back here on Friday with another Supernatural Confrontations.